Welcome back to Disc and Balls Golf Channel, where today we will be doing a drone fly-through of Riverside Park Disc Golf Course in Victoria, Texas. This video will be for the long configuration. The park itself has a few holes with a short and long basket placement, so this will be the video for the long placements. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hole 1 is a very straightforward 297 feet, 91 meters, and the basket is right in front of you. There are limbs that will knock down discs on the left and right side if you go a little too high, but in general a good straight shot will get you a great look for birdie, and you could even do a little force flex line. Hole 2 is a 612 foot par 4 with a mandatory on the left of this right tree, the one just past the stump on the right side. That tree is a mandatory. A lot of people in the amateur divisions will try to lay up to about here where the drone's flying over. In the last Victoria Open, the pros got past this one, giving themselves a very open shot for birdie on this picturesque little green. Hole 3 from the longs is a monster. It is 471 feet. It's a par 3, and it's got ceilings everywhere. There is a gap with a lower ceiling, and that's the one the drone is flying through now. But very tree lined. This is the gap to hit, generally speaking. If you could flex something over or hyzer flip something, that's great. This basket is not always elevated, but right now it is. So tough par 3 overall. Hole 4 gets back to the gettable par 3s. It's 300 feet and low ceiling just about the whole way. There are sometimes some routes in the winter that you can take through the tree lined area, but spring and summer you're going to be dealing with the leaves. Pretty straightforward, right in front of you, little left to right shot ideally. Hole number 5 is another straight 297 foot hole. Low and straight under the ceilings is probably your best route, or something straight that finishes out to the left is pretty good. OB is long where those pylons are, and sometimes that bamboo grows in and blocks your route to the basket, or blocks putts anyway. Hole number 6 is 645 feet and an excellent opportunity to stretch your arm and just throw it as far down here straight as you can. There is OB way left and way right. Those shouldn't be in play. But a drive of about 320 feet or so gives you 280 to 300 to this fairly gettable pin for a longer thrower and fairly challenging pin for a shorter thrower. Hole number 7 would be fairly mundane except for the OB left and OB right. During tournaments it becomes an island hole where your disc has to get past these trees and at least to that ditch. If you don't make it, you're going to the drop zone, and it's about a 62 footer for your par. Hole number 8, you're going to want to start your tee shot out to the right here. It is 576 feet and a challenging par 4 overall, especially when the trees are, have foliage. But you want to land it around here to give yourself less than 300 in through this fairly narrow gap, and this pin is usually elevated for tournament play. But tucked in little green, it's easy to end up putting from that high grass. Number 9 is again right there in front of you, 352 feet though, so you've really got to push it. Usually the prevailing wind is helping, which means you got to throw something a little less stable to get that distance if you are of the recreational or intermediate level. Number 10 is just a nasty par 3. It's 518 feet, 158 meters. OB along the left, but you usually won't reach the OB because you'll hit those trees and be completely cut off from any second shot. If you can land it up within 200 feet, you're doing pretty well. Elevated green here, OB along the left side behind the basket. And really, you're just sending one long drive and one reasonable upshot, hopefully giving yourself a par. If you thought 10 was fun, you're going to love 11. It's 625 feet and left to right dog leg. Kind of a slow bend, but most people are going to try to land their tee shot somewhere left of those pylons, which are OB. This is a very inside route. Usually people aren't trying to get that tight. But no matter what, you're probably going to contend with this ceiling or the OB right of these pylons. That dead tree has ruined a few people's days. Again, low ceiling on the green too. Pylons OB long left usually aren't in play, but sometimes can get you. Hole number 12 is a fun little right to left hyzer. It's only 277 feet, but you're just trying to sneak around this corner. Usually it's going to be a straighter shot that then hyzers out and sometimes skips, although you don't want it skipping too much because all that high grass is generally OB, and there's river below, so don't throw it in the river. Hole number 13 is my favorite on the course. It's only 207 feet, but it has so many options. Spike hyzers, big flex forehands, grenade probably, thumbers, tomahawks, whatever you want to do. There's so many options to get to this fairly tucked in green. So fun all the way around pretty much. Hole number 14 has OB all down the left side. It's still pretty gettable though, with two shots of if you have about 300 feet, this is something you can birdie. The fairway is all through this left side. Some people will take hyzer routes through the trees on the right, but that brings complications into play. The green is pretty wide open, although the baseball field on the right side is out of bounds, so some of the hyzers that get caught by the wind can end up over in that field, which is less than ideal. Hole number 15 is what I would consider a fun and fair par 4. You're not going to reach it in one without an insane roller, and you get rewarded with a decent birdie opportunity from two well executed shots. If you mess up and hit a tree somewhere, you're probably making par. Generally, bogeys aren't in play without something catastrophic occurring. And the green is pretty wide open, so if you drop anything anywhere within circle, you're likely going to have an unobstructed putt. Hole number 16 at 675 feet is the hole voted second most likely to ruin your round based on a made-up poll of Disc and Balls Golf Channel viewers. You're going to want to start out throwing it somewhere down here. Anything that hyzers into this gap here is ideal. You can also get away with that right gap initially and still be pretty alright. Your second shot is going to either challenge the OBA pylons on the left or the tree line on the right. But no matter your choice, it's going to be a challenging time. Hole 17 is a fair bit of a toss at 342 feet. It's pretty straight, and some people like to choose a left to right route over this picnic table. Others will just go through the trees and hope it pokes through, ideally giving them a putt from inside of circle 1. Hole number 18 is a long, low blast at 377 feet. Low ceiling almost the entire way. There's not really a way to get around that, although there is a way to get around these trees, either on the right or left side here, depending on your disc stability. If you keep it in the middle, par is pretty easy, birdie is a challenge, and if you get caught up in that tree line, bogey is very possible. Well, that concludes our drone tour of Riverside Park Disc Golf Course. Again, in Victoria, Texas. Such a fun layout. It is usually very well manicured. Had a little rain leading up to this drone footage, but super fun course, super fun to play, great for tournaments. Wally at One Star does a fantastic job holding events out here. So if you ever get the chance, I can't recommend it enough. Thank you to Golden Crescent Disc Golf Club for also helping with maintenance and whatnot. As always, thank you for watching, and hopefully I see you on the course.